Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of High School Sports here on your High School Sports Leader, Oregon Sports Beat. Tonight, it is 6A girls basketball from the gym at Central Catholic High School. We feature the Central Catholic Rams. The Rams' opponent tonight, the Ida B. Wells Guardians. We're just about ready for the national anthem, and then we'll have the introduction of the players. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Hall. I'll be doing the play-by-play tonight. Working with me tonight, a name familiar to Central Catholic High School sports fans, Michael Abraham. And Michael, thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Dave. Thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
And this is it, season opener. Both teams, Central Catholic Rams from the Mount Hood Conference, Ida B. Wells Guardians, they are from the PIL. We'll get you a bit more details when we introduce the players tonight. Athletic Director Laura Yeager out at the middle of the court. Shakes hands with the referees. We're about to get underway. Another exciting season here from the gym at Central Catholic.
Should be exciting, Dave. The home opener for both teams, the home opener for Central Catholic and the first game for Ida B. Wells. A lot of first game jitters.
Let you know while we have a chance. A couple of players for the Rams are not going to play. Number 0, Jada Jackson, the junior, and number 20, the senior, Scarlett Thomas. 2 JV players will play in their place tonight. One will be number 10, Lillian Jordan. The other will be number 32, Theo Bradford, the freshman.
Yeah, it's a shame. Jada Jackson, one of the Rams' key players, is injured still with a bad knee, and I know that Sandy Dickerson is looking for big things from Jada as the season progresses and they can get her health back.
It's just been kind of a tough road for her. She didn't play last year, that knee injury, and she's an outstanding player. Let's see if she can get ready and play some this season, but she won't play tonight.
Looks like they've got a little slowdown on the national anthem. The referees meeting at half court, so
referees are talking to both of the coaches and a couple of the team captains, I believe. A couple of players to watch for tonight for the Wells Guardians. The sophomore Claire Dixon, the sophomore Autumn Hart, and the junior Sinclair Atkins. Head coach for the Wells Guardians is Glenn Coblins. You know Glenn.
I do. Glenn,
he told me he coached last career at Catlin Gable.
He did. Glenn has been around the Oregon youth and high school basketball scene for, oh my goodness, it's probably been almost 30 years now. And we go way back. We competed against each other in elite youth basketball, and he used to coach travel ball as well. He's very excited. They talked him out of retirement, he said. He thought he'd finished with high school.
This is his first year. He calls himself the interim coach, but he confided in me that if things go well, he'd like to have that job.
Well, I'll tell you what, he knows his way around a basketball court. They're lucky to have him.
All right, giving this little introduction about conduct, and that's always important at high school basketball games.
It's actually a very nice crowd for opening game.
For a Friday night opening game just before Christmas, it's a nice crowd. Head coach, as I mentioned, Glenn Coblins for the Ida B. Wells Guardians, and Sandy Dickerson, of course, the head coach here at Central Catholic. I think we're queuing up the national anthem.
I hate to start a thought and be interrupted by the anthem, so I think so. Oh, here we go.
Fans laughed. We're going to have live singer tonight. Here we go. All right, we're still giving the introduction about the conduct.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Sandy briefly before the game starts tonight, and she was very excited about the youth of her group and really excited to see basically to see what she's working with this year. It's kind of a surprise to her.
Go ahead. Central Catholic has 5 sophomores, 3 juniors, and 3 seniors, so they are a young team. But listen to this young team. Ida B. Wells has 3 freshmen, 6 sophomores, 2 juniors, and 1 senior.
Holy moly, that is a young team. There's a young lady named Autumn Hart that caught my attention in pregame warmups and earned high praise from Coach Copeland, so I'm hoping to see something special from her tonight.
All right, now our national anthem. All right, still my favorite song. We're about ready to introduce the players for both of these teams.
It's always exciting to see two coaches that's known each other for so long compete against each other. Friendly rivalry. Sandy and I have been friends for, I'm almost 30 years now. So I'm excited for her. This might be maybe not one of her strongest teams, but she seems very excited about the potential in the team.
A couple of years ago, that was your daughter standing down there on the line, Tiana Abraham, one of the great players here at Central Catholic.
Well, thank you. Yes, she's still playing in college. She took a year off, and as a loving father, I'd love to see her back out on the court again at Whittier College, which is where she decided to play when she left.
Looks like we got the entire cheerleading squad tonight.
Yes, we do. That's from sideline to sideline, from end line to end line.
Exactly. All right, we're introducing the players, the starting lineup. Number 4, that's Dana Savage. This is for Ida B. Wells. Number 11, Helen Mildenberger. Number 12, that's Lola Dixon. Number 13, that is Autumn Hart, the player to keep an eye on. And number 34, Sinclair Atkins. So that's the starters: Savage, Mildenberger, Hart, Atkins, and Dixon for the Rams. And Jada Jackson will come out and give everybody a high
Jada
five.
Jackson gets to lead the handshakes. That's always an interesting part of the game.
Here we go. Number 3, that's Megan Bruner, the junior. Number 13, the senior, Meg Gaber. Number 15, the junior, Juliana Gordon. Number 24, the sophomore, Nyla J. Holt.
Yeah, I know Sandy's excited about Nyla. I'm looking forward to watching her tonight.
And the starting, number 40, the sophomore, Paige Pierce. So the starters again for the Rams: Megan Bruner, Meg Gaber, Juliana Gordon, Nyla J. Holt, and Paige Pierce.
Dave, it's funny, they've got a Mildenberger on the Ida B. Wells roster. I went to school with the Mildenberger family, and as soon as they announced her name, 4 or 5 of my friends in the crowd spun around and looked at me and asked if that was the Mildenberger family.
All right, exciting. We're just about ready to tip this off. We'll get the 2022-23 season underway for the Rams.
Boy, the team that's able to control their emotions early will jump out to a quick lead here, would be my estimation. It's really difficult this early in the season with young teams to avoid live ball turnovers, and I think that'll be a big difference in tonight's game.
Mount Hood Conference versus the PIL. Paige Pierce will jump it up at center for the Rams. She'll be jumping up against number 13, Autumn Hart. Sophomore against sophomore in the middle.
Sandy used to run a play out of the jump ball when she had Kylie Johnson here, and they were guaranteed to win a tip, but looks like she's got the standard jump ball formation, as does Ida B. Wells.
4 8-minute quarters. I think everybody's a little bit anxious to get this started.
Well, Dave, I'm anxious too. I appreciate being here with you, and I got to tell you, I've got the same butterflies I had as a coach.
As do the players. First game, they'll feel each other out. They'll do see how the shooting goes. Tip controlled by Wells, the Guardians. Up court, number 12. That's Lola Dixon.
Looks like Central settled into a pressure man-to-man defense.
In the middle and taken away. Megan Bruner with the ball. She's out on top.
Ida B. Wells also win the matchup man-to-man.
Around the outside, there's the first shot of the game, a three-pointer, and good. Juliana Gordon hits the three-pointer.
You love to see a player shoot the open shot, and Juliana didn't hesitate.
NBC, nothing but cord. Wells, the shot, way too hard. Rebound, Gaber.
Excellent box out on that play.
Gaber with the ball. Gets a screen there from Pierce. Dishes off. This is Holt. Got great moves.
Looks like they're trying to run the high post pick and roll there.
Pass intended in the corner for Holt. Broken up, goes out of bounds off of the Guardians. Rams will inbound the ball. Bruner looking for somebody to get the ball to, gets it to Pierce.
These set plays are difficult early in the season. Inbounds plays and baseline out of bounds plays are always a challenge.
And not sure if she intended to pass the ball or scoop it, but foul in the lane. It's going to send Gaber to the line. Shooting 2, 3-0, Rams lead just underway. 6:35 left in the first quarter.
I always encourage my players to attack the bucket early in the game. So I'm happy to see the Rams putting the ball on the floor and getting to the basket.
First team foul, that's not a shooting foul, so they said she was not shooting. Gordon over to Holt. Holt knocked down, going to be another foul. Foul on Ida B. Wells, the Guardians' second. Again, Megan Bruner will inbound the ball. The junior looks.
Have a nice back cut on that they missed on the back door there.
Pierce down the lane, gets a high bounce, spins, tries to get a shot away, doesn't go, tipped and loose, picked up by Gordon. Gordon, a shot up and in. Juliana with her second bucket. She has all 5 Ram points.
Now let's see if the Rams can get the middle of this press break covered up. You want to make sure you take away that middle pass. Oh boy.
Down the lane, a shot up and in. First bucket of the game, 4. Wells goes to Savage. One thing the Rams like to do is press early. They like to unnerve other teams.
Right, and they've got to make sure they don't allow that pass we just spoke about. That entry pass to the middle is a press killer.
Pierce. Gaber underneath, ball knocked away. Guardians come up with it.
That's 2 times I thought she'd been fouled and didn't get a good call on either one of them.
Savage. Guardians, ball knocked away by Holt. Guardians come back up with it.
The Rams continue to play good quality defense. Looks like they're trying to switch in any crossing player.
Out on top, Guardians with the ball.
That's an excellent jump switch.
Inside, puts a shot up, no. Rebound, Paige Pierce. Leaves it for Holt.
Absolutely.
Nyla dribbling out on top. She's waving her arms. She's got places she wants everybody to go.
I'm curious if they may put Paige Pierce down on the low block and take advantage of some of her size.
There's
There
the
she
lob to
goes.
her. Can't get a shot away. Forced outside, though. Nice defensive play that time. Helen Mildenberger pushed her outside. Back out on top, Bruner. She'll set it up. Holt on the baseline, turns around. Gordon with a shot.
Oh,
Yes!
boy.
Rams have 8 points. Gordon has them all. 8-2, Rams lead. 4:04 left to go here in the first quarter. Gordon has all 8 of the Ram points. 2 3-pointers and a 2-point basket.
This is the time of the year when coaches want to see which players they can actually trust in games. And this is a relatively new team to Sandy, and that young lady is definitely making her mark.
Rams want to establish early in the season they have an outside threat. It looks like they do.
I just love to see kids shoot without worry about consideration, without fear.
You know, you get a good look at the basket. What do?
Yeah,
Let it fly.
Absolutely, Dave. You want kids to play without having to think about it too much. The freer they play, the better they play. Nice help.
My coach used to say you got to have a shooter's mentality. Shoot till you miss till you make.
There you go. And a very short memory,
All right.
as Reggie Miller would say.
Inbounding the ball. Guardians have it underneath their own basket. They have to hurry, they do. And whistle.
Oh, boy.
Charge, was that a charge?
That was
Foul?
an illegal screen is what they tried to call. And
Third team foul.
but I would tell you, that was a very well executed play for this early in the season. Got a wide open look.
3 team fouls on the Guardians.
Sandy's trying to run a set play here. Let's see what her 3 play is. A little UCLA cut. Oh. For the 3, beautiful.
Pierce was under the basket that time with her hand up.
Yeah, and there's the same call he made at the other end.
Same call at both ends. A screen against the Guardians, that time against the Rams.
Let's see if the Rams can get the middle of that press covered up.
Mia Pierce was standing alone underneath the basket. Nobody picked her up. Let's see if they see that and get the ball to her down there. 8-2, Rams lead. 3:30 left to go here in the first quarter.
I think it's really important if the Rams are going to press, they've got pressure on that ball so they don't get an open look at the court. Did a good job that time. That's how we do it.
Stolen away by Gaber underneath the basket, lays it up and in. Gaber, her first bucket, first points for anybody other than Gordon, 10-2.
I really like her aggression. Excellent trapping opportunity. Those sidelines are a huge help when you're trying to press.
Pressure all over the ball this time by the Rams. Holt was really on a couple of players.
There's another really good weak side screen.
There's a shot from the outside. No, long iron. That ball goes out of bounds off Gordon.
Let's see if Ida B. Wells executes on their baseline out of bounds here again.
Savage will inbound the ball for the Guardians.
Oh,
Throws
there.
it underneath. There's an open
And
shot.
there it is. The old pick and roll. Those are very difficult to defend when you're in man-to-man coverage.
First bucket of the game for Holt, 10-4. 21, that's Mia Pierce. Bruner. Gordon lets it fly. First miss of the game for her. Tied up. There's going to be a foul, though. That's going to be a foul. I believe it's going to be on Gaber.
Foul number 15, Gordon. That's her second.
Actually, it's on Gaber. I'm sorry, Gordon.
Gordon.
Gaber is 13. Gordon is 15.
Entering for the Rams, number 14.
The more pressure they put on the ball here, the more effective the Rams press is going to be. It's difficult to press when you're spaced out and you don't have ball pressure.
Nobody's used the timeout yet. Both teams have all their timeouts. 2:15 left to go here in the first quarter. 10-4.
Great trapping opportunity there in the corner. There's another spot. Oh, there's a beautiful pass.
And Holt doing a great job defending in the middle that time. But it's a foul on the Rams. It's going to send.
Foul on number 21, Pierce.
Guardians will go to the line. Number 34 will shoot. That's Sinclair Atkins. This is our first free throw of the game.
Autumn Hart does a really nice job. She's very athletic. And Central, I believe, is trying to send the dribble drive to the baseline. They don't want to give up middle penetration. It creates too many it forces the defense to help up instead of in. And as
Atkins hits 1 of 2. 10-5 is our score. Is that a lane violation? It is. Atkins will get that shot over. Second attempt, she gets it. Atkins with 2 in the game. 10-6, 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter.
Sandy's running the classic flex offense now with baseline cutters to see if we can get an easy look underneath the bucket. Oops.
Oh, throws it out of bounds. Was that tip? Nope, it wasn't. Guardians with the ball in for the Rams. Annalise Voika.
The difficulty with the flex offense is you've got to get all 5 players touching the ball, and sometimes that cross-court pass for people that aren't used to handling the ball is a difficult ask of a younger player. Great.
Almost a steal, and Holt comes down with the ball underneath the basket, quickly down court. Pierce, no, they get it in the corner to Bruner. Pierce had her hands up again. Bruner with the shot, doesn't go. Rebound taken away. Here come the Guardians. They lose the ball, picked up by Gaber. Gabriel will slow it up.
Whoa.
No, she'll take that shot.
Oh,
yes.
good for her.
Gaber buries a 3. She has 5 in the game.
I really like her aggression. Make or miss, she's very aggressive.
13-6, Rams lead.
Oh, that middle pass is going to be trouble.
Shot from way outside. That doesn't go. Whistle or foul. Guardians will go to the line. Number 14, Claire Dixon will be at the line. The foul is on Meg Gaber. Well, let's see. First foul on Gaber. First free throw is good. Dixon with her first point, 13-7.
Ida B. Wells is hanging in there. They struggled early, but they seem to be getting their footing as the game progresses.
Second shot on the way, bounces around, doesn't go, tipped inside, rebound.
Nice.
Jump ball, possession arrow is going to go to the Rams. Nice effort that time by Mia Pierce.
I had a nice chat with Mia before the game, and she's just trying to be a little bit better than they were a year before.
Well, I thought she was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
Holt will inbound the ball. She'll inbound it to Gaber. 13-7. We're at 45 seconds left to go. First quarter. Gaber almost taken away, picks it back up. Sealed off. She was trying to drive inside. Out on top. This is Holt. Shot by Gaber.
Oh.
Yes. Another 3. Gaber with 8. Gordon with 8. And that's all the scoring. 16-7, Rams lead.
The Ram pressure is really beginning to bother Ida B. Wells now.
Another foul. That's going to be, I believe, number 6 on the Rams.
It's when you pressure, you foul, and the hardest thing as a coach is to teach your kids to play pressure and to give space instead of reaching, and trust that your help side defense will cover for you rather than trying to foul on the perimeter.
Dana Savage at the line. First shot on the way, no. Rams come down with it. 12 seconds. Gonna have to set something up in a hurry. Holt, 7 seconds. Bruner, back out to Holt. Holt's got to shoot. Somebody's got to shoot. Lets it go. No, it doesn't go. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score here after one at Central Catholic High School. It is Central Catholic 16, Ida B. Wells 7. Michael?
I saw some positives out of both teams, Dave. I think Ida B. Wells, as Glenn told us in our pregame conversation, that they're very young and he thought they might struggle against the Ram pressure. But you can see that Central Catholic pressure keeps them in the ball game and makes them tick.
All right, you know, if I'm going to run down the scoring for the Rams, I only have to say two names.
There you go.
And that is Meg Gaber has 8, Juliana Gordon has 8, and they have the same stats, 2 3-pointers and a bucket.
You know, and one of them took over the first half of the first quarter and the other one took the second half of the first quarter.
Exactly. It's
Excellent.
great. They're off to great starts. They each have 8 points, but, you know, as a coach, you might like to see a little more people.
Yeah, I think Sandy
involved.
would like to see some other people get touches, and I think she'd like to get an inside attack established.
That's the thing I was noticing. It looks to me like the Rams might be more dominant inside, and they haven't gone there much yet.
I think the difficulty with young players is the post-feed game is a very difficult skill. So it's hard to manage feeling the pressure from the opponent and still being able to find a player that maybe isn't used to getting the ball fed to her on the low post yet.
Thanks for joining us here on Oregon Sports Beat. I'm Dave Hall along with Michael Abraham. Opening night for both these teams.
Got some subs in the game, it looks like.
Guardians inbound the ball. And Guardians throw it away.
Yeah, poor Autumn Hart. We really encourage kids to come to a stop before they make those passes on the perimeter. Prevent you from having to rush into a pass.
Gaber leads it for Holt to bring up. Holt's got great dribbling skills.
There
Pierce,
she is.
Back to Holt. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Paige Pierce underneath. Oh, puts up a shot. Fights and gets her own rebound.
I tell you, I'd sure like to see Paige Pierce catch one on the low block and be able to go straight up with it.
She's on the high blocks right now.
She's very physical.
This is Gaber, and blocked out of bounds by the Guardians. They got to work on the scoreboard here. The score is 16-7. It's not 16-13 like it's showing.
Well, everybody's got a little first game jitters,
Some of the
even the
fans
scorekeeper.
yelling. There we go. Nope. Now they got 106-16. Underneath, Paige Pierce gets a shot off. Rebound Rams. That's Gaber.
Those 50-50 balls are all going the Rams' way right now. And in a game of younger teams, that's a huge stat.
Make Gaber.
Oh, boy, let's give her the ball down there.
Right, get the ball down to Paige Pierce. She was
Yeah.
on the blocks. Had her back to the basket. Knocked out again.
Paige is just a sophomore. I'm sure that as the season progresses, they'll find ways to find her on that low block. Hopefully as this game progresses.
She looks like she's interested in going there.
That's a hard thing to get as somebody that really likes to play inside as a bigger person these days. Everybody is hypnotized by the three-point line.
The referee's over yelling at the scorers table now. Look, the score is 16-7, not 105-16. But we got it. We got it right here. I think they stopped the action. I think that's what it's for, is try to correct the scoreboard.
A.D.
Again.
Laura Yeager to the rescue at the scorers table, and it's the two teams huddle. I've been very impressed. The quality of play has been relatively crisp for a game this early in the season.
Again, it's 16-7, 6:50 left to go in the second quarter. We've not had a bucket here so far in a minute 10 of the second quarter.
Well, it seems like we both like Pierce. I really would like to see her do some work around the low block. God, she's a very physical girl.
Well, I like both Pierces. I like the Rams. I like the way they're playing. They're not looking like this is a very first game of the
No,
season.
and they play with aggression. You know, Sandy, a good team mirrors their head coach. And if anybody knows Sandy Dickerson, she is a fiery woman, and she really gets after it. And her team up to this point looks exactly like Sandy.
It's been a while since the Rams have had a really, really good outside shooter. 2 years ago was Abby Cooper. Last year, Peyton Allen. But looks like they got 2 right now.
For sure. And they're playing against a man-to-man, which sometimes is problematic for shooters. It's a little bit easier to get a standing shot against the zone. And Glenn has his group very organized. It just looks like the jitters are a little bit more prevalent with his team than they are with the Rams right now. Well, they've got the Ida B. Wells that's got 6 free points so far.
Now we're back to 16-13.
Looks like they're just going to add them as they score them. That's what I think I saw them say, though.
Okay. Rams.
Corner, the classic corner exchange out of bounds play for a 3.
Bruner to Gaber. She got another 3 off.
Oh,
Yes!
she's unconscious. She's on
11
fire.
11 in the game for Gaber.
I met with her before the game. She said she had her first game jitters, but she's sure not showing them now.
5 3-pointers in the game already for the Rams.
Excellent help defense.
Ball tipped away by Holt. And is that a traveling?
It was a travel. Benny Wallace does a lot with the Ram defense. You can see Benny's also a very fiery, very experienced high school coach.
Coaches the JV. They won big tonight. So it's 19-7.
There's
The lob underneath. Outside, Bruner tries to get a shot, a block.
boy.
Pierce with the
there's-
rebound underneath. Page steps around, puts
Oh.
it up big 10. Page.
That's
Pierce
an
with the
impressive young lady right there. Left-handed too. That's a difficult guard for most high school post players when you have a powerful low post player that opposite hand player.
bucket. 21-7. Pierce. She bumped the player that time who was trying to come down the lane. Strong defensive move, but just a little too strong.
Right. If the Rams can continue to keep the ball out of the middle of that offense, it will limit those opportunities. It's hard to close out on a player that catches the ball free on a wing and you've got to run out to defend. And that usually only happens against pressure when the ball gets centered to the middle of the floor.
We're in the bonus situation. Coming into the game, number 12, and that's Catherine O'Leary. She replaces Megan Bruner.
Catherine, the younger sister of Elizabeth O'Leary, former Ram.
There's the first free throw, bounce around, doesn't go. Rebound Rams. So it's 21-7. Guardians have not scored here in the second quarter. 5:25 left to go.
Let's see if Sandy finds something for the hot player here. Looks like a little pick and roll for her.
In the corner, the shot. Gordon, yes! Juliana hits a bucket. She's got 11. 11 for Gaber, 11 for Gordon. 24-7.
I just got a good laugh at Miss Gaber enjoying the heck out of an assist, which is a huge quality for a building team. You want somebody to take just as much joy in someone else scoring a bucket that they had a hand in as they do when they score themselves.
8-0 the scoring here in the second quarter. A three-pointer for Gaber, a three-pointer for Gordon, and a bucket for Paige Pierce.
Well, we got one bucket out of somebody besides the big two.
Defense is holding up. No points scored by Wells here in the second quarter. 21-7 our score. 5:12 left to go in the first half.
I'm guessing they're going to add the points. If Ida B. Wells can score 6 more, they're going to add those as they score them because I don't think they can erase the clock for some reason
I think that's up in the air whether they can.
Looks like the Rams stay in the 2-2-1 press. Great job by Nyla taking away the middle pass there, making them play side to side. Oh,
I know she hasn't scored, but
There
I like
it is.
Nyla. Hold on. A steal down the court. Oh, and that was Mia Pierce. Ball blocked. It went out of bounds.
great job by Mia. Great job on defense to begin with. Way to get in the passing lane and get touches. You encourage when you're pressing, you want your players to touch the ball. get hand touches, get tips, get deflections, even if they're not outright steals.
Gordon with the ball loose on the floor. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession is going to go to, I believe, the Rams. It is.
Sandy's had a chance to run almost every out-of-bounds play they have in the Rams' arsenal tonight.
Gabriel inbound the ball.
Their back door.
Way across court underneath. Holt puts up a shot. She's fouled. No, that's a charge.
He called a travel on that one. I did not see a travel on that play. That's the old jump through.
She was knocked down, but traveling is the call. 24-7.
There. Yeah, that's the pass they want to avoid giving up, and that's usually the result, a quick swing to the weak side and a driving player that's really hard to close out on.
Hart will go to the line. Autumn Hart fouled in the act of shooting. 2 shots coming up. And the foul is on Paige Pierce. I'm sorry, let me back up on that. The foul is actually on O'Leary, her first. Holt rolls around, doesn't go. Holt has a bucket in the game for 2.
The Rams have been impressive early, shooting the ball very well. And it's nice to have a really good home crowd here.
Holt gets the second. The scoreboard shows 14, but it's 8. The score is 24-8. Maybe at halftime they can get that sorted out. Down the lane, shot blocked. That was Holt.
More often than not, those are positive plays. Make or miss, you want to encourage that kind of attack at the basket.
Rams will inbound the ball. Underneath Gaber to Holt. Oh, went off her hands, went out of bounds. Pretty hard throw-in pass and up in the air. Holt
But a dead ball turnover. We can live with the dead ball turnover. It's the live ball turnovers that really hurt you.
Underneath the shot, up and in. On the bucket, that's number 11. It's 24-10. The scoreboard didn't reflect that.
Oregon's still without the shot clock. One of the few states that still plays without a 30-second clock, so the Rams are able to stay organized and maintain ball possession.
So 24-10 is our score.
Central running the flex offense against Ida B. Wells' man-to-man defense.
Spin move, Holt puts up a shot, blocked out of bounds. White ball. Holt's got her hands up in the air. She said, twice I've come down here to shoot. Both times I've gotten mauled, and I don't get a...
I thought she'd earned that one. I thought she might get the benefit of the doubt on that one. Beautiful spin move.
Gaber to inbound, way out on top to Mia Pierce.
Corner exchange for our shooter.
Gaber.
I'm waiting for her to attack the basket again.
11 in the game for Gaber. Lobs it underneath. Goes off of O'Leary's hands.
Yeah, I've never been a big proponent of the lob pass from the wing. It's a very difficult pass to make. Lob from the center, bounce pass from the wing.
24-10 our score. 3 minutes left in the half.
There you go.
Oh, nice steal
You
by
get that
O'Leary.
middle covered up, you're a much better defensive team.
Turnover for the Rams. And
Let's
Guardians will inbound the ball under the bucket.
Glenn's has a very good organized out of bounds series that he's running here. See if they get another. Oh,
Illegal screen, and that will be a turnover
That's
on
just-
the inbound pass. Rams ball.
you might see 1 or 2 of those a game. We've got 3 before halftime.
Exactly.
Players have to adjust. They're all called by the same official, so they need to adjust and understand he's going to call that tight.
Nyla J. Holt inbounds the ball to Meg Gaber. There's Juliana Gordon with the ball. O'Leary. Mia Pierce.
Changed her pivot feed and got away with it. Nice pass.
Underneath, nice pass up and
Oh, beautiful.
in. Juliana Gordon.
That back cut is available, but you need a willing passer and a full speed cutter to make that work. Beautiful
13 in the game for Gordon.
Wow. Couldn't have scripted any better opener for her. She's played very, very well.
26 to 10.
That's a foul on number 12. O'Leary, that's her second. Team 10.
The foul is on Catherine O'Leary, her second. Bonus situation at the line. This is number 34, Sinclair Atkins. She had 2 free throws earlier on.
We're about to see number 22 coming in at the 2:22 mark. That just happens to be my cousin, Ella Barron.
Oh, there we go. Ella Barron checks in. She replaces O'Leary. On the way, second shot is good.
This will be the first time I've had an opportunity to watch my young cousin play.
So our score is actually 26 to 11. I think you're right. I think they froze the clock until they get to 14. So the scoreboard says 26-14. It's actually 26-11.
You'd like to see the dribbling players try and get positive yardage, get instead of east and west, get north and south, get downhill and attack the bucket, draw a second defender.
Pierce out high, looking for some help.
It's a great back
Starts
cut.
down the lane underneath, scoops it, and she's fouled. I know the Guardians are all thinking, I saw a couple of them signal travel, but the call is a foul.
Well, I'm sure Nyla's wondering why she can't get that call. If Mia got it, I
Right.
think Nyla wants that call.
Pierce at the line. Pierce the senior.
Sandy,
First shot on the way.
Sandy
No.
was very pleased with her senior leadership with this year's group. Seemed to be a very cohesive unit.
Gaber, Pierce, and Scarlett Thomas, who isn't playing tonight, are the 3 seniors. Second shot on the way. Oh, in and out. Tipped around. Rams come down with it.
One more.
Down the lane, the little hop step, too hard. Rebound, Rams underneath. Reverse layup didn't go.
I really like the aggression of the Rams. I'd love to see players attack the bucket. There's a great trap opportunity.
26-11, 1:30 left to go first half.
Nyla Holt has just done a wonderful job defensively.
Stepped in the passing lane, down the middle, shot by Gaber, blocked out of bounds.
It's tough business in the middle tonight. It's tough to get a call down there.
I'll say this, the Guardians are very aggressive underneath the basket. Very aggressive.
Very judicious, Dave. That's from all your years of lawyering.
Right. I got those lawyer words down, right? It's a lawyer for 38 years.
Wow.
26-11, 1:12 left to go, first half. Hope you've enjoyed the action here as we tip off our basketball season.
The toughest spot on the court to inbound from in the deep corner. Almost no pass is a good pass there. All your angles are bad.
They do get it into Gaber. She goes underneath. Inside. Now they send it back out on top. Holt
Go ahead and attack her. Turn the corner and get
gets
to
a
the basket.
screen
There
from
you
Bruner
go.
down the lane. Puts a shot
Good
up.
girl.
Holt scooped it up and in. Nyla J's first basket. 28-11.
I'm happy for her. It's frustrating when you're an attack player and you can't get a finish or a call. Oh, there's a great jump switch. Mia Pierce is another impressive defensive player.
Zoe Hederick in the game for the Guardians.
Pick and roll up high.
Once a screen gets it, then loses the ball out of bounds. Stepped on the end line. Turnover, Rams ball, 21 seconds. See if the Rams come down and play for one.
Well, I'd love to see them flatten the floor out and put those two shooters in each corner and let Nyla create something for them.
They're going to roll the ball into Holt. She backs up, picks it up just before the timeline.
Early in the season, it's tough to run these late game situation plays properly. Shoot it at the right time.
Bruner,
Plenty of time. You want to wait till about
8 seconds. We got a whistle of foul. We're in the bonus, I believe, now. Gaber's going to go to the line. 28-11, yes. Both teams are in the bonus.
I think Sandy's going to be happy with her backcourt play, and she's definitely going to be happy with her defense.
Tipped out of bounds.
All right, the Rams don't want to foul here. You want to pressure without fouling.
3 seconds. Long shot. No. A shot up, but that's the horn. That ends the first half. Our score here at halftime, it is Central Catholic 28, Wells 11. Rams outscore the Guardians 12-4 there in the second half. Let me give you the individual scoring in this game. We'll start with the Wells Guardians. Dana Savage has 2. Claire Dixon has 3. Autumn Holt has 3. And Sinclair Atkins with 3, all on free throws. So that's 9-11 in the game. Let me give you the scoring for the Rams. Paige Pierce has a bucket for 2. Nyla J. Holt has a bucket for 2. For Juliana Gordon, it's 3 3-point baskets and 2 regular baskets. That's 13. For Meg Gaber, it's 3 3-point baskets and a bucket. That's 11. So Gordon 13, Gaber 11, 2 for Holt, and 2 for Pierce.
I think one of the most impressive stats is that they've held Ida B. Wells to just 3 field goals in the entire first half. That's an impressive half of defense for the Rams.
Right, when you take a look at that, 11 points, that's 3 baskets and 3 free throws. On the other hand, for the Central Catholic Rams, that's, let's see, that is 6 3-point baskets by 2 players.
Yeah, I think Sandy was worried that she was not going to have the strength at guard that she's used to having, but I've been very impressed with her guard play. And I love the fact that she's encouraging them to go ahead and shoot those open looks.
All right, what do you see that's working for the Rams?
Their pressure defense is obviously what they're going to hang their hat on this year. And if they can continue to force turnovers, I mentioned at the beginning of the game that live ball turnovers are the kiss of death for a team that's trying to compete, especially when you're away from home. And the Central Rams were able to force several turnovers with their press that led to early opportunity baskets.
One of the things we talked about was, although it looked to me like, it looked in the beginning like the Rams were tougher in the middle, I have to credit the Wells Guardians because they played really tough in the second quarter. The Rams, are you looking for them to maybe try to go more inside in the second half?
I would like to see them. I think they have a kind of a diamond in the rough in Paige Pierce. She looks very effective down there, and you love to see a young kid get touches on the block to keep her involved in the game. It's tough when you're a post player and you count on guards to get you the ball. So I hope that Sandy sees the same things you and I are seeing and finds a way to get her some touches down there on the low block.
On the other hand, let's talk about the Wells Guardians a little bit. 11 points and a half. We mentioned 3 baskets. What do they need to do to get back in this game?
I think the biggest thing is when they were able to center the ball against the Rams' pressure, they were much more effective. They're having a very difficult time with the front of the Central Catholic press. They're having a hard time getting an easy entry pass. So when you can't get an entry pass to get your offense started, you're pretty much running ramshackle and just trying to look for the first good opportunity. And then you're down by 15 or 16 points. You have a tendency to rush and force when maybe you don't need to this early in the game.
You talked about having trouble getting the ball down, and not one of that, I think, is the great defense that Nyla J. Holt is playing. And she's cutting off that passing lane out high, and it's a struggle for Wells to get the ball down the court and get it something set up.
Absolutely. And when you ball pressure, you can press and still not have ball pressure and not be nearly as effective as when your front line of your press can actually put ball pressure and then rotate to the next trap. And she's very athletic. I've been very impressed with her. She jumps out. When you watch the game, I would think she's probably the best physical specimen on the court in terms of her speed and athleticism. Even though she's got 2 points, she's definitely affected the game.
I think a lot of people wondered, what are the Rams going to be like this year? They do have young players. They have players who didn't play a lot last year. And to open the season this way, one, they look organized.
They do.
It doesn't look like a disorganized team to me. It looks very disciplined. and I think people should be pleased with the effort that we've seen so far.
Absolutely. The difficult part for Central is their league play. They've got two of the best teams in the state in their league that they've got to deal with, who are loaded with talented players that won't struggle as much against the Rams' pressure. So as they move forward in the season, you'll hope they'll solidify their half-court offensive play and be able to attack, get those guards to dribble downhill and get to the bucket instead of dribbling side to side out on the perimeter of the defense.
When Michael says there's two teams they're going to have to deal with, I'm assuming you mean Clackamas and Barlow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Both with great individual players, Kennedy Schuler at Barlow and Jazzy Davidson, who many think is the best player in the state. And
I do.
One of the top players in the country at her age level.
You know, my friend Tom Johnson's the coach out of Barlow. He's been there. I think he's been there close to 30 years.
He's been there a long time. I know Tom.
Jazzy Davidson, I saw her twice last year against the Rams. She was outstanding. She's so smooth.
Yeah, and no weakness.
And I didn't see any weakness. Great defender, left-handed, got outside range, works inside.
And great length. You know, when you have length as a female basketball player in today's game, you are coveted by colleges. I'm sure that I want to say that I read in one of the polls in my research for the game that she was ranked #1 in her class nationwide. So it wouldn't surprise me a bit. I've seen a lot of great players come through this state, and she was definitely going to be amongst that group when she's done with her career in Oregon.
Yeah, everything I've seen from her has been just very, very impressive. What about a girl that young, a sophomore? She was a state player of the year as a freshman. Now she's a sophomore. How do you manage that couple more years?
Well, I think that the hardest thing when you have a player with that talent is to keep them motivated and not look forward to the next step for them.
Right.
You know, they get pulled in a lot of directions when you're that skilled a kid.
There's kids that are in the 8th grade that colleges are talking
already.
to.
It's crazy. It was big when I was coaching. It's even bigger now, and the recruiting game gets exponentially bigger every year as the women's game has grown in exposure. And that's a very, very – I've seen most of the great players that have come through Oregon in the last 40 years, and she's right there in that list. When you have the length and the skill, the fact she's left-handed, can shoot inside and out, and has got quality coaching over there at Clackamas, she's going to do very, very well. And Kennedy Schuler is another one that's already signed at Oregon State and is one of the top soccer players in the state as well. So when you have a really gifted player that spearhead, like Central Catholic had, when you had Jordan Reynolds and Kylie Johnson, when you have that group of really super gifted elite-level players, it elevates the status of your entire program.
You know, I look back maybe 4 years ago, there was a player I saw. She was the top-ranked player in the nation. That was Avina Westbrook.
And deservedly so. Avina was a very, very special young lady.
Went to Tennessee and then had a leg injury, and then went to UConn and played really well for Gino Auriemma.
Well, and look, she was able to play in two of the elite women's basketball programs in the history of the sport, and for two of the great coaching staffs in the history of the sport.
Exactly.
And she had a short career in the WNBA, but still playing professionally overseas, and is an absolutely wonderful person on top of being a great basketball player.
All right, I'm happy to have you join us tonight. You've got so much knowledge of the history of this program, but I want to talk to you about one of my favorite players in the program, and that was your daughter Tiana.
Oh my
Played
goodness.
point guard here for those 4 years, and when I look back at players who were able to run an offense,
right,
she was one of the best I saw.
Tiana used to sit on the bench with me when she was in 1st and 2nd grade. She followed me around like She followed me around every game that I've ever coached, sat on my bench, and I made my players treat her like an assistant coach. In fact, I made one of my boys' players sit on the end of the bench because he tried to push Tiana out of the way to get in her seat, and he failed to realize that Tiana was smarter than any of the boys' players I was coaching at the time, and her mental ability to adjust to a game and see the game from a coach's perspective made her a very effective high school player. I miss watching her play, Dave.
You know,
I do.
she's one of those players, a point guard, who ran the offense. Who her first priority was running the offense. She was a passer or a
Right.
distributor, but when she needed to score, she could and did.
Yeah, she was. Well, it was a skill that developed, and a lot of that the credit goes to Sandy for giving her the green light. Early in her career, she wanted to be a pass first player, and she had Abby Cooper with her, and
Right.
Abby Cooper and Maya Thomas and some of the other great shooters that come through Central, and she was more than happy to be that player. But as she got a little bit older and started to think about playing in college, she wanted to put the ball in the bucket a little bit herself, and she had a couple of 20-point games in her senior year, and averaged a lot and made a first-team All-League, and now is playing down at Whittier College. She took the year off, Dave. It's killing me to even say that. TT, if you're listening, come back, baby. Come back to basketball.
All right, she left here. She went to Whittier, played her freshman season. Did you say she sat out?
She played her freshman year, which was last season, that her team went to the NCAA tournament.
Oh.
Started some games and played. I want to say she averaged about 18 minutes a game overall, and her
Okay.
team went to the NCAA tournament, lost in the first round. And this year she's going to study abroad, so she took the year off so she can go study in South Korea.
Well, is she going to come back to playing?
Well, my fervent hope is that she'll come back to playing and then one day become a coach. That would be my dream as a father. Of all the children I've had that have all played sports, all my other three kids were all athletes here at Central. She's the one that I think would be a phenomenal basketball coach.
Okay, well, we sure enjoyed her while she played here. And,
Well, that's
and there have been
nice.
some outstanding players over the years
Oh,
that
yeah.
played for Central Catholic. And you know, all you got to do is look around the gym here at all the banners that are up.
It's crazy. Sandy has been, and players enjoy playing for Sandy. Sandy is not the type of coach that's going to be a limiter to a player's development. She kind of figures out what she has and encourages the strong points and lets them kind of do their thing.
You can look right across 2013, girls state champions basketball.
That was my daughter Amira's year. My daughter Amira played graduated in 2000. Oh, God, I can't remember what year Amira graduated. But that was the year that I believe they had Kylie Johnson, Jordan Reynolds were seniors that year.
Jordan Reynolds played at Tennessee.
Yes, she did. And Kylie Johnson played at Stanford.
Well, the good thing here as we start the second half is the scoreboard is right. It's 28-11.
That's why you get the big bucks, Dave. You figured that out before I even noticed
Right.
that.
It's kind of nice when the scoreboard says what the actual score is.
Well, it's been a really competitive match. If you didn't look at the scoreboard, you wouldn't think it was as lopsided as it is.
Let's see who's on the court for the Rams.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if Central stays in their press.
It's the starters. It's Gaber, Gordon, Bruner, Holt, and Paige Pierce.
I'd be interested to see if Coach Koblenz makes an adjustment defensively and goes to more of a zone or puts on a little bit of pressure on himself. I'd be interested to see how the Rams guards handle man pressure.
There's a shot. Long. Rebound. Guardians. Scoop shot up. Doesn't go. Rebound.
Push that ball
Holt.
hard. Get it to the center. There you go.
Holt quickly down court. Dishes off. Gordon out on top.
I thought that one was going up for sure, Dave.
Pierce sets a screen. Gordon with a scoop shot. Doesn't go.
There's a nice
On the
move.
baseline, dishes it off. That's going to go out. And it'll be Rams ball.
Yeah, players are always taught if you get a player driving baseline, you always want to have that weak side corner drifting. Somebody dropping down that weak side corner for that baseline across pass.
28-11. Rams lead. 7:19 left to go in the third. Some paper out on the court.
Yeah, it looks like Ida B. Wells is going to stay in there man-to-man.
Actually, that's part of a cheerleader's pom-pom.
There's enough cheerleaders here. I think we've got almost 15, 18.
Yeah, there's a lot. When we talk about great athletes at Central Catholic, sitting right down below us, you met during the pregame is Mark Santangelo. Of course, his brother Matt, one of the first stars here at Central
Yep.
Catholic, went on to play at Gonzaga. In
They've-
fact, many people say he's the start of the Gonzaga
And that-
success.
they would not be wrong saying that. Him and Mike Doliak, another Ram of prominence,
Mike Doliak played in the pros for a number of years.
right? They had a very successful pro career.
Shot, and that goes in. Nice
That-
bucket out there. That's number 13,
That
Autumn
young
Holt.
lady's got a bright future ahead of her. She's got great length,
28-13.
and I like to see the coach playing her on the perimeter like she is instead of sticking her underneath the basket. She's the tallest player on their team, but has handled the ball almost exclusively for her team on the perimeter.
Gordon and Gaber had some wide open looks. I noticed that the Guardians have stepped up. The shot goes up by Paige Pierce. Loose on the court. Pierce scooped it up. Holt to Gordon. And the Rams have it on top.
There we go. That's what we wanted to
Pierce
see, Dave.
drives inside, puts it up
Yeah.
and in.
Okay.
Paige Pierce working inside.
All my old coaching cliches are coming back to me, but we always like to enter to the post with a bounce, never a straight line pass. It's much easier to defend at the girls basketball level. Boys level, it's much tougher. You can get away with a variety of passes, but when you throw that straight line pass into the low post, it's a very easy pass to defend.
Sports is filled with cliches. There's a shot from the outside,
And
in
we
and
go-
out. Rebound,
Kick it ahead,
Meg Gaber.
kick it ahead. There you go.
Bruner
There we-
underneath. They send
Oh,
it out. There's Gordon. No, long
that's
on that one.
wonderful ball movement, though. That's exactly what you like to see. Inside out, get the ball swung from side to side.
30-13. Travel.
Didn't think they were going to call that one, but
Entering for the Rams, number 21.
Mia Pierce replaces Paige Pierce. I'm impressed with Pierce, not only how she works in the low post, but also she's not afraid to leave that on defense and go outside and press the ball.
she's just got natural aggression. The toughest thing to teach a low post player is aggression, is it to be a banger. And she gets in there and throws her body around and gets on the floor.
Gaber.
That's where I'd like to see her turn the corner and get to the basket.
Gordon lets it fly. No. Long.
See if they get back into some pressure here. There's good ball pressure.
We played 3.5 minutes. Rams have one bucket. (30-13), out on top.
Ida B. Wells has had a hard time getting the ball moved from one side of the floor to the other.
Look what a great defender Holt is. One-on-one, she really has the
Yeah,
pressure.
they don't want to throw the ball anywhere near her, and she's got Autumn Hart on lockdown right now. Oh,
Again, see?
yeah.
Moves her feet well.
And still able to give help and get back to her
A
own
steal, here we go. And the Rams
Oh,
will
I
hold
like
up
that shot.
Pierce from the outside. No. I thought they were going to hold up. Pierce got to the free throw line and let it fly.
hand. Yeah. Best time to shoot the three is right then. Shoot it in transition, look for the long rebound, and try and get a kick out for a return pass, for a return three if you don't get a bucket on the first attempt.
In and out. Guardians with the rebound, work back inside. That doesn't go. Get the rebound again, loose on the floor. And going to be a foul, I believe, on the Rams.
There's the game in a microcosm, though. There's a loose ball. You have three Rams on the floor and only one of the Ida B. Wells players. 50-50 balls in games like this are really important, and the Rams are going to get the great majority of them.
I believe this is the first timeout of the game. Rams just took a timeout. There were no timeouts any team took in the first half. And so Rams take a timeout here. 3:28 left to go in the third. Rams lead 30-13.
I'm watching Sandy to see if she tells her team a funny story on the bench. Sandy was always good for a joke or two on the sidelines. I used to try and cut the nervousness of my players in the early part of the season by telling them a funny one-liner or a little story on the bench when I knew they were really nervous.
You know, I coached an elite level girls softball team. And the hardest thing to do, when you get really good, the hardest thing to do is remind everybody to have fun. You get way too serious.
Oh, it's so, and it's crippling. I used to tell them, what does a British owl say? Whom.
Right. I coached the girls softball team. We won the national championship.
Wow, congratulations.
We started pretty young, and we, you know, along the way we added players and stuff. And by the end, you know, in the beginning we had fun. By the end, it was
Yeah, the pressure to win.
pressure to win was so great. And we lost fun players along the way who
Yeah.
just were not as good as some other players. Lob underneath
That's been a very successful inbounds play for them.
and rebound underneath. Guardians getting some rebounds. There's the shot, goes up, tipped around. Rebound, Rams.
Aggressive rebound. That's a fresh player.
Annalise Voika.
Nice
Gaber.
kick pass.
Bruner tries to put up a shot, blocked. Saved before it goes out of bounds, so Guardians have the ball.
Been a physical ball game. A lot of attacks to the bucket without a lot of free throws being
It
shot.
is a physical game.
Oh, boy, they missed her.
Underneath, back out on top. Guardians trying to set something up. Great interior defense by the Rams. Some cutters going through the lane, but the Rams seal them off right away.
The Ida B. Wells coaches all up in arms
Oh.
if they missed their cutters. There we go.
Savage banks in a shot.
And they're only down 14. This game is not out of reach. If the Ida B. Wells team makes a little run, the Rams have to.
I wonder if Savage yelled glass.
I don't know if the bank is open on Friday night at
Right.
9 o'clock.
30-16.
Oh.
Oh,
Now, the Rams have not been as effective offensively. It looks like Ida B. Wells has adjusted a little bit. And the
Pierce. Over to Holt. Let's see if Holt goes down the lane. She does. Pulls up. Sends it back out on top. That's O'Leary. I'm sorry, that's Voika.
I'd like to see Gaber really turn the corner on one of those weak side ball screens.
Here comes Mia Pierce. Manages to get down low. Loses the dribble. Backed her way in and then lost the dribble. 30-16. Rams have 2 points here in the third quarter. 1:27 left to go in the quarter. Animated Coach Dickerson. She's up and she is yelling.
Yeah, there's very few times you'll ever see Sandy taking a rest. She stays fiery. She and Benny are like fire and ice over there on the bench. Benny, the ultimate cool, and Sandy is on fire all the time.
He wasn't cool during the JV game. He was. I was worried he's going to get a penalty for being on the court all the time.
Referees have a tendency to be nicer to you when you yell at your players and not them.
Right. Looking to inbound the ball. They do get it in. Guardians in the corner.
Yeah, they're really stuck on one side of the floor.
You don't want to get trapped there in that corner. It's like an extra defender. The shot up and in.
That very easily could have been an N1, and they're only down 12 points. Central needs to pick up the offensive attack here.
Hart now with 7 in the game. They're down 12, 30-18, 111 in the third. Down the lane, here comes Holt. Spins around, puts up the shot. Yes, nice spin move by Nyla J. Holt. She has 4 in the game.
Good for Nyla. She deserves to have a couple of buckets. She's made a couple of really aggressive moves and didn't get the reward.
Hope that
Look
gives
at
her.
her ball pressure. There you go. She creates a turnover on the other end.
I hope that gives Holt some confidence because That was a great move.
Outstanding. A Dirk Nowitzki one-footer on the finish.
Right. And then comes right back and makes a great defensive play.
And she's spirited. She has some fire in her belly. Like I said, she's a reflection of her head coach. I always told players you can be an energy giver or an energy sucker.
Another call for illegal screen. That's 4.
With our same official. Maybe that's a point of emphasis this year, Dave. I didn't get that chance to talk to him before the game.
All right. 46 seconds left to go in the third, 32-18.
There's a good denial. Take away the reverse.
Going to be the 15th foul on the Rams.
Central student section didn't like that call much.
The foul is on Meg Gaber, her second. 4th team foul on the Rams. Guardians don't have any team fouls.
Excellent switch on the pick and roll up high.
Dishes off. Guardians down inside, puts up the shot. Oh, long. Rebound, Gabriel. I hope she got fouled before she traveled.
Yes, she did. You know, if I could tell the IB Wells players anything, I would tell them to take their first good look. They're doing what I always call over-penetration. When they catch, they air fake the defender towards them, and then can't beat them off the dribble. Much better when you get that early kick passes, just let that shot go.
Rams will inbound the ball with 26 seconds up on the clock before the end of the third quarter. Bruner, she'll send it in. This is Holt.
Ida B. Wells has done a good job on the half-court offense versus the Rams. I'd like to see Central get to the bucket off the dribble a little bit.
Turnover Rams. 17 seconds.
Let's see how they handle the pressure these last 17 seconds of the half.
You know, Rams had 16 points first quarter, 12 points second quarter. They got 4 here in the third.
There we go.
Nice steal inside, puts up a shot, fouled. Holt with those quick hands steals the ball.
Sandy's asking for the intentional foul. I don't think we had that on that play. Holt is really a difference maker. Now that the offense hasn't been clicking, a player like that puts a big imprint on the game.
She's going to go to the line. She has 4 in the game. 9 seconds up on the clock. 2 shots.
The Ram bench in their classic one legs crossed pose for each free throw.
First shot on the way. Holt gets it. She has 5 in the game.
And then the stomp switch for the Ram bench, including the assistant coaches. That's nice. It's almost as if the crowd is kind of reading the game too, Dave.
Missed the second.
They're watching as opposed to rooting.
Underneath, and that's going to go out. Rams will get the ball with 3 seconds. 3 seconds in the third quarter. They lead 33-18. See if they can get a shot off. Guardians are going to press. Holt. I might throw the ball the length of the court.
Yes, I think that would have been you just don't want to risk a turnover in backcourt.
Right. I just throw the ball the length of the court. If you come up with it, great. If you don't, no harm.
You've watched some basketball, Dave. You know how to coach. You told me I'd seen a lot of basketball. You just meant I was really old.
Well, that too.
This has really been enjoyable. I appreciate you having me on the show. It's really fun.
Well, it's been great having you.
Sandy's not going to stop coaching, that's for sure.
My recollection is last year the Rams opened the season with a loss. This would be great if they can get a win tonight to start this season. It's a confidence builder.
Always. And it's so important when you're going to face tough competition inside your league to not go on a run. You know, Central Catholic, for example, the football team, played that great competition outside the league early because they know in their league play, they're not going to have much competition.
Right. Right. They're in the Mount Hood Conference, which is not a great football conference now.
It is not, and it really hurt them in their seeding when the playoffs came around.
Exactly. Throw the ball. That's what I would do.
Good for Sandy. Did we take another timeout?
No time
5
went off
count.
the clock.
I guess we had a 5 count there.
Didn't get that pass away in the 5 seconds, so it'll be
That's impressive. They've got that out of bounds play in this this early in the season.
3 seconds.
Had trouble with this double exchange.
Underneath, tries a scoop shot, fouled. It's going to send the Guardians to the line.
That diagonal screen on baseline out of bounds is a really difficult guard if the players doing the screening and the rolling are aggressive.
Shooting 2, 33-18, 1.3 seconds on the clock. That bounces around, drops through.
Sandry subbing at the last minute and a half, last second and a half. Just want to make sure the Rams don't foul here.
That was the first points of the game for Mildenberger. Second shot on the way, got it. Got them both. Now the Rams will have 1.3. I just throw it.
Oh boy.
Almost had that one picked off, and there's the horn. That's the end of the third. Our score at the end of 3, it is Rams 33, Guardians 20. Guardians outscored the Rams in that quarter 9-5.
I don't think our leading scorers in the first half for the Rams scored anything in
They didn't.
in the third quarter.
5 points for the Rams, 3 of them for Holt, 2 for Paige Pierce. That's it. So the lead, which was at 17, is now 13.
Game's certainly not out of reach. I think Central has been in total control, but they, if Ida B. Wells hits a hot streak here, they're not without a chance. Oh, the cheerleaders pyramid building. That's always impressive and scary at the same time. You mentioned the Santangelo family. Mark Santangelo's daughter is a cheerleader here.
Oh,
And that Santangelo family, there's a whole family of athletes that came through the program before Matt. Matt is the youngest of 7, I believe.
oh, okay.
I went to school with Joe Santangelo. Mark was a couple of years younger than me. Nick Santangelo, who became an airline pilot, was a great athlete here.
Our producer and the owner of Oregon Sports Beat, Ryan Johnson, played here in the
Ryan.
mid-90s.
Oh,
There's a shot, let it fly. Oh, in and out, tipped around inside. Paige Pierce comes up with it.
well, that
Boy,
young lady has really asserted her will around the basket.
great effort by Paige.
And Ida B. Wells has come out in a 2-3 zone. See if the Rams get into a zone offense. They recognize and get themselves into a zone. They're still running their man offense.
There's a shot on the outside, short. Rebound inside. Holt
There she
with the
is
rebound.
again.
Gordon lets it fly. No, that's going to
Boy,
be
they've cooled off
wide.
significantly. Well, the best weapon for Central right now will be this pressure defense. See if they can make some knock some balls loose and get some easy turnovers, easy looks. Ball pressures. Oh,
traveled. Holt is great in the middle on that pressure defense.
she did a good job of slowing down that dribbler, and you'd want to see the Ida B. Wells player come to a quick stop, a jump stop on that play instead of catching and trying to do something
Right.
on the move. I'm interested to see the Rams attack this zone. We haven't seen this yet tonight. See if we get a high post and a baseline runner, and there we're into the single high post.
Rams had the shooters in the first half to attack a zone.
One more.
One of them right there with the ball, Gordon.
You want
Mia Pierce.
ball movement and player movement, but you want that.
Here's
Like-
Holt, lets it fly. Oh, back iron. Wells with the ball, Rams with the lead, 33-20. Scoop, doesn't go, rebound
Tough
inside.
night for that young lady, but she's
Holt
made-
sends it ahead. Gordon lobs it underneath. Did
surprise timeout.
Coach Dickerson took a timeout while that was kind of caught me by surprise because
I think it caught all of us by surprise. But
6:28 left to go in the fourth.
that's that fire in Sandy. When she's got something to say, she's going to say it.
I've always thought that she was a very good judge of when to take a timeout and when not to.
Yeah, that was that one. I thought I don't think she realized she was about to get a fast break look there. I think she was looking the other direction, didn't see what was happening on the far end of the court there. Or maybe she saw it and just wanted the
Right.
timeout anyway.
It wasn't totally a fast
No.
break. They were in the corner.
It was not. I try not to question. These guys work super hard, and they know their team way better than you and I do, Dave. So I try and trust what they do and what they try and do with their players. She's been running this out of bounds play. This is usually a really good play. She's been running that play since my daughter's played here.
Pierce, that's Paige, out on top. This is Gordon, slows up, back out on top to Paige Pierce.
No, there's a nice back cut.
Now she works down low, turns around, puts up a shot.
Oh,
Yes!
good for her.
Paige Pierce with the bucket. She has 6 in the game.
Good for her. You'd hate to see her have to work that hard to get it.
And she did. She worked hard to get that.
Get that middle covered up. The press, get the middle covered up. I'd like to see Kayla get her hand on a ball right here. It's
35-20. There's a shot short. Rebound, Paige Pierce.
And neither team has been much on by way of fast break. If it's
Right,
not
we haven't seen a lot of that.
a rebound outlet and push down the court. Nope.
Paige Pierce went down the lane, had her hand up. Nobody saw her.
I think if they ran her from block to block instead of have her stand there, they'd have more success of getting her close to the bucket.
Gaber dishes off. This is Holt. Back to Gaber from the corner. Too long. Rebound, Guardians.
Definitely want to get that ball stopped. You don't want to let him get to the top of the key before she feels pressure.
Mia Pierce, that's her second. Team eight. The line, shooting 1 and 1. Entering for the
This early in the season, wouldn't be surprised if Sandy hasn't been able to spend a lot of time working on her zone offense.
35-20. 5:05 left to go. At the line, this is number 13, Autumn Hart. Front iron doesn't go.
Push it up.
Rebound, Mia Pierce.
When you don't have that veteran lead guard that's running your team, it's difficult to attack a zone. Well, Ida B. Wells is up. They drop back into the zone. I thought they'd come back out. Rams are having a difficult time finding an open look against the fairly active 2-3 zone from Ida B. Wells.
Rams content to go around the outside. Now they go inside, back out to Gaber, though. Gordon. Gordon passes up a shot. It was a long one, but she passed it up. Holt.
This is when you beg for a shot clock, Dave.
Yep. Rams are content to run some time off. There's a shot. Doesn't go. Gordon, she was right in the lane. Let that go. Didn't go. 35-20. 4:10 left to go in the game. From the side, no, air ball. Rebound, Mia Pierce.
You can tell it's early in the year, Dave. You can really see that the misses have been bad misses just
Exactly.
because kids are nervous and haven't gotten enough shots up yet and aren't comfortable yet.
We've had a number of air balls. In the corner to Holt. Gordon. Rams are content. They're just going to take their time. Down low, then send it back out.
They're not rushing. Oh, there we go.
Down low, Paige turns around, gets a shot up.
Well, the cardinal rule of low post play, we don't want to bounce that one before we turn and look at the bucket. But I love that we got the ball down to Mia, or to Paige down there on the low block.
Paige turned around, had a big smile on her face. She had the foul.
She's been very impressive. For a sophomore, I've been very impressed with her.
Mia Pierce checks in, replacing Paige.
He's only got one foul. That's as a sophomore, as a low post player, as a sophomore, that's very impressive.
Right. And Guardians want to take a timeout. 3:18 left to go in the game. 35-20. Rams lead by 15.
Yeah, I don't think that Ida B. Wells is going to have the offensive firepower to catch up at this point. But they've managed to right the ship and are giving the Rams everything they want in the second half.
Well, there's been one bucket in here in the fourth quarter by the Rams, and that's it. You know, we had 23 points scored in the first quarter, 16 in the second quarter, 14 in the third, 2 here in the fourth.
It is not. It's a defensive masterpiece, Dave.
It's good that the Rams got off to such a great start.
They've definitely gone cold, and I think Ida B. Wells has adjusted and kind of got their footing underneath them and have figured out what they want to do.
Coach gave me a resume of his coaching background before we started. I was impressed.
Yeah, he's been around. He's played too. He's a player, and he plays at the Masters level at the Mac Club, which is a very high level Masters team, one of the top programs in the entire world for players that are 50 or 60 and older. I actually don't know how old Glenn is. I'd like to say he's 70, then he would be older than me, but I don't think he's that old.
Portland has always been known as a great place for masters for
Yes.
the play. I remember the days one of the dominant teams in the world was the East Bank Saloon.
Absolutely. And then the Mac Club took a lot of those players over and took them over there. I think the East Bank is closed now, isn't it, Dave? They closed that down?
I don't know. It used to be the place to go after Portland State
Yes, it
football
was.
games.
Used to be the place to go after St. Mary's games and Central Catholic games for me, too. That was a spot. My old friend Dave McKay was a bartender there for years, and he ended up marrying Pudgy Hunt, who was one of the great players in the history of Oregon's daughter, Carrie.
Pudgy went to a little school, Napa, I think, and won the state basketball tournament. He was a shooter. Inside, scoops it up and in. Nice play. On the bucket that time, number 41, Margot Denny. 35-22, 2:50.
If Central keeps holding the ball, Ida B. Wells is going to have to come out of that zone. They're not going to be able to let the Rams take a minute off the clock before they shoot. And their zone isn't putting enough pressure on to create turnovers.
Rams are content while they're in the zone just to keep moving around the outside.
There's good ball movement.
Wells is going to have to start chasing the ball if they want to make any difference.
I'd be surprised if Glenn doesn't give a foul here and get him into man-to-man.
Bruner back out on top to Gaber. Gordon in the corner. Holt. Yep.
Excellent job of ball control by the Rams. Great player movement, great ball movement, and not over dribbling.
That middle's going to open up for somebody.
Well, the Rams have already taken a full minute off the clock.
Now they're going to double team the ball and come up with a steal. Nice job that time. Autumn Hart on the steal. 1:44 left to go. You know, you're going to have to shoot the ball too.
Oh, nice back cut.
Inside the layup, that was a nice move. That was by Dana Savage. 35-24.
Just still it's a little bit too little too late. They're back into the man-to-man now, but Central's kind of gotten comfortable with the Ida B. Wells pressure. They're just not quite athletic enough to put significant pressure on the Rams.
Michael, the Rams have 7 points in the second half.
Sandy's not going to be pleased with the point totals, but she's going to be happy with their execution. They're moving the ball around without giving live ball turnovers away, which has allowed them to keep the lead, even when they're not scoring.
Megan Bruner.
The Rams can not give live ball turnovers. They'll be able to stay in a lot of games this year.
All right, timeout on the court. I'm not sure. Did the Rams take this timeout?
Yeah, I think that was well, actually, I don't know.
I
didn't
think
see
so.
The signal.
It is a timeout, either way. 54 seconds left to go in the game. The score is the Rams 35, the Guardians 24.
Really a much better better played game than I was expecting on an opening night.
Sandy said she would give us a player at the end of the game. Got somebody in mind you want to talk to?
Well, I'd love to talk to either of those two shooters, but I think the player that's impressed me the most with their hustle has been Jayla Holt, or I'm sorry, Nyla Holt.
Okay, we'll see at the end of the game if we can get somebody down to get Nyla to come up and at least talk to her.
I just love her fire. And I don't know if Nyla was an impact player last year or what her background is, but if as a neutral observer watching for the first time, she's really caught my attention.
All right, ready to get this going. 54 seconds
Only
left
a
in the game.
sophomore. Sandy's got to be happy. She's got two really. Well, they're not even going to be able to foul. They've only got 3 team fouls. They're going to have to foul 4 more times to get to the bonus. It looks like Glenn has decided not to foul and just play good defense, let the game go.
And the Rams are content to throw the ball around the outside. Gaber.
There's the
2,
first.
4. All right. Our sound engineer, Alvin Myers, is going to go down and see if he can get Nyla for us.
Okay.
13 seconds to go. 35-24 is our score. We only have 2 headsets. When she comes up, she'll have to put yours on.
She's more than welcome to it.
Okay.
And I will watch the master at work. Dave, you can tell you've done this a little bit. You can tell I haven't done this very much, but I've really enjoyed it.
I still think of myself partly as a lawyer, so I'm going to cross-examine her.
I'd be interested to see how she feels about herself and what
I
her-
would too. I'm anxious to see. We've interviewed freshmen and sophomores
Yeah.
before, and one of the things I'm always impressed with, the girls at Central Catholic are so poised.
They really are. I mean, and it's a credit to the way the school. I think the athletics are just a part of the school here. I've had 4 children that came through this program and through the school, and they're better people for it.
We just finished. We did an interview of volleyball players, and the best player I think on Central Catholic was Mia Starr. She's
Oh, I know
Silas
Mia. I
Starr's
know some-
brother.
There's
And
a little.
I interviewed her, and I told Laura Yeager, that is the most poised person I've ever had, and the best interview I've
Yeah.
ever had from a high school student.
Mia Starr's mother was a state sprint champion and was a Pac-12. I don't know if it's Pac-12 back then. Was a tremendous sprinter at University of Oregon as well.
Of course, her brother now playing wide receiver for Stanford.
Yeah, and speaking of Tiana, that was Tiana's high school sweetheart. Silas and Tiana were an item for.
And a bucket. That's Autumn Hart with a bucket.
Well, I tell you what, Ida B. Wells wins the second half.
Rams still holding the ball. There's the horn. That is the end of the game.
That's good to get one under the belt.
You're going to be surprised when I tell you some of these stats, but let me give them to you. Here's the scoring by quarters. First quarter, that was the big quarter for the Rams. 8 points in the quarter for Gaber, 8 for Jordan. It was 16-7. Rams outscored the Guardians in the second quarter 12-4. That made it 28-11. Here's the second half, though. Third quarter, Guardians outscored the Rams 9-5, and in the last quarter, outscored the Rams 6-2. Scoring in the second half, Wells 15, Central Catholic 7. And here's the individual scoring for you for the game. Dana Savage with 4 in the game, Margot Denny with 2, Helen Mildenberger with 2, Claire Dixon with 3, 9 in the game for Autumn Hart, 6 in the second half. And here's the scoring for the Rams. Nyla J. Holt with 5 in the game, 6 in the game for Paige Pierce, 13 in the game for Juliana Gordon, all in the first half, and 11 for Meg Gaber, all in the first half.
Yeah.
Those let's see, 7 points in the second half. They were all scored by Holt and Pierce.
Amazing. It really is. And Central only had the 3 field goals in the second half as well, huh? As
Three.
Ida B. Wells had 3 in the first half, Central only had 3 in the second half.
All right, we got our post-game guest up. Let's put a headset on her and we'll talk for a second.
Thank you.
Nyla Holt joining us for the post-game show. Nyla, strange game.
Yeah.
Juliana Gordon and May Gaber each had 8 in the first quarter, three-pointers. Come on down here and we'll get you on camera. Each had that. You were up 16-7. You big second quarter two, and things not so good offensively in the second half. You scored 7 points.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, throughout the game, it was rough. We had to figure out what to do for our offense and stuff, and we weren't getting open the way we should have. But we figured it out eventually, and we were able to hold it. I think overall we had a great game, and just always look for the better.
Great to win the first opening game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been following you. Last year, you played well. You didn't play as much as some of the other people. Tonight, you played a whole lot, and you looked much improved. What have you been doing to better your skills?
I've been training with Antoine Stoudemire all summer.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been working out with him, and that's how I got better. All I wanted to do was get better, and I worked out with him all summer, every day.
Talk a little bit about your defense, because all during the game we talked about it. One, you pressed the ball in the middle, didn't let them have that first pass to get down court quickly, and the Rams looked really good on defense the whole game.
Yeah, our press, defense is my thing, so getting up all the time, I got to do it. And my teammates, they did their job. They were all in the back. We all talked. We were able to get steals, and that's all we had to do to continue to keep playing well.
How about you only have a couple of seniors on the team, 3, and Thomas didn't play tonight. How about the leadership on the team? Have you guys all kind of pulled together?
Yeah, our seniors are a big role on our team. They're very, what's the word? They're very, spirited. They always are smiling and making sure we all stay on top of it, and they make sure that we keep it together, and then we follow them because those are our leaders. And then we have people who play their roles, people who lead the team, but overall we work together.
You know, we talked a lot tonight during the game about the sophomores on your team. You played very well. We were totally impressed with Paige Pierce.
That's my girl, Big P. She gonna body everybody. That's all she does, and I'm proud of her.
She played so well on defense. I noticed that when the ball came out, she went out and followed the ball. She looked a little reluctant in the beginning to go offensively, but once she got some confidence, she liked to go inside too.
Yeah, it takes her one to get her going, and when she's going, you're not stopping her.
Got any plans for the future? Know what you might want to do?
My goal is to go D1 in basketball. I don't really have anything else besides that. That's the main goal until otherwise.
Well, if you keep up at the pace that you're learning at, you certainly will be available to play D1 basketball.
Thank you.
All right, you're our player of the game, and thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, give your headset back there to Mike. That's Nyla J. Holt. And she's obviously very interested in becoming a D1 basketball player. All right, Mike, put your headset back on there. Impressive interview, right?
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right.
She's actually the niece of one of my good friends, Billy Holt, and I saw her parents' videotape, and that had to be a big moment for her.
All right, a little bit, your thoughts about the game, your final analysis.
I was really impressed with the Rams' pressure defense, and I was really impressed with the young lady we just spoke with, and I was very impressed with Paige Pierce. The 2 shooting guards, although they didn't have a great second half, were wonderful in the first half. And I think Sandy's got a very competitive bunch for the Mount Hood Conference.
All right, we got some people that we want to thank tonight. We want to thank, of course, Central Catholic High School for their hospitality, their athletic director, Laura Yeager, the head coaches of both the teams who took time to talk to us before the start of the game, Sandy Dickerson, the head coach of the Central Catholic Rams, and Glenn Koblenz, the head coach of the Wells Guardian. Our crew tonight, we got, Steve Roberts is our director. Alva Myers is our sound engineer. Ellie Serrero is our camera person tonight. And thanks to all of them. I want to remind you that we are Oregon Sports Beat. You can go to our website, OregonSportsBeat.com. We have our calendars up. It'll show you what we have to do. We have some soccer over the weekend. We have another Central Catholic game next Friday night, starting in January. Well, I'm sorry, we have 2 basketball games last night. Next Friday night, we're going to cover the Rams, and we're going to cover the Lincoln Cardinal, the very successful Lincoln Cardinal.
Very good.
2 of the best players in the state on their boys team, Malachi and Moroni Seeley Roberts. Then we'll get our schedule up for January, and we're going to be loaded with basketball. So we want you to join us for all of that. Michael Abraham, thank you. It was great having you with us.
It's been
I'll
my
give you a
pleasure.
final comment.
Just thank you for giving me the opportunity, Dave. I really enjoyed this. I've missed basketball. It's my 44th year, and now I can say I'm officially back in basketball, so thank you for the opportunity.
All right, I'm Dave Hall from the gym at Central Catholic High School. In the first game of the season for these 2 teams, our final score, Central Catholic 35, Wells 26. Good night, everybody.